Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the 6th round today for our Midgard Gaming Invitational. We are now currently in our modern portion, and we have for you a matchup featuring Lawrence Bouzane, who is playing Green-Black Rock, the Rock, as it were, versus Peter Yang, who is playing the Merfolk, old Merfolk. So what we see right now is Lawrence is taking a look at Peter's hand with an Inquisition. It looks like he's going to take the Lord of Atlantis. The Phantasmal Image, Aether Vial, few lands, Mutavault among them. Everybody just finished seeing Mutavault in Standard. Now we still see it in Modern. Alright, so here is the turn 1 Aether Vial off of the Mutavault. So wise play there, keeping the getting the Mutavault into play so that he can attack with it next turn should he not draw action. Peter catches the Vial before he actually draws his card. So the Vial will tick up to 1. Looks like Spreading Sea is going to be the draw. And it looks like he is going to tuck that onto the Treetop Village. I believe he has another Spreading Seas in hand alongside that Phantasmal Image. Lawrence going to draw. It looks like it was an Inquisition of Kozilek that he drew. So he's probably going to fire that off. Alright, so it looks like... So Lawrence is going to see the second Spreading Seas, which I believe he took immediately. And so he did. There's a Marsh Flats for Lawrence now. Animate Mutavault, get in for 2. So now Peter's going to follow it up with an island. We're going to see an end-of-turn fetch sacrifice from Lawrence. Looks like he's probably going to search up an Overgrown Tomb with that one. There it is. So Lawrence now missing double green, but I don't believe that particularly matters in his list. It's worth noting that this is the list playing 4 copies of Pack Rat. Playing 4 Pack Rats and 4 Abrupt Decays in this deck. Looks like Lawrence is going to play an Overgrown Tomb tapped. I believe we're going to see Maelstrom Pulse. Well, it looks like he took that back. He opts to go for the Liliana of the Vale. Peter with lots of excess islands to discard. Pulse is going to be discarded. It looks like the island is going to be discarded for Peter as expected. Peter's draw for turn was the Master of Waves, which is not the best when you have 0 devotion to blue in play. Still 4 power. Looks like he opts to leave the Vial on 2 counters. Here comes Mutavault. Now Peter trying to make the decision if he wants to get into Liliana of the Vale. Looks like he does. And it looks like Mutavault is going to be Slaughter Pact. Looks like Peter's thinking about responding. Decides not to, he's just going to let it go. He was thinking about Phantasmal Imaging it, but feels like it's probably better served to save that for when Lawrence has something worth copying. Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant, something like that. Looks like Lawrence going to take a shock to 15 here, and his last card in hand is a Dark Confidant. Liliana ticks up. Peter likely to discard the excess land or the Master of Waves here. You could have played Master and copied it, this is true. Alright, so we are going to see a copy of Dark Confidant. That is going to reveal a Spell Pierce, so Peter going to take 1 point of damage for that. So he has a Master of the Pearl Trident now in his hand, alongside the Master of Waves and the Spell Pierce. Looks like he's going to pass the turn here. Lawrence's Dark Confidant going to reveal a Woodland Cemetery, which is pretty good. Boy, we missed that standard format, hey? Overgrown tombs and woodland cemeteries and the shocks and Innistrad duels and Corset duels. But that was good. That was good standard. That was a good time. So it looks like the Liliana of the Veil is ticking down here. Looks like we're going to see Master of the Pearl Trident flashed in off of Aether Vial and then sacrificed to the Liliana. Peter has decided that he really needs to have access to this Spell Pierce, but Lawrence with a big card in the form of Tarmogoyf. Alright, so that's at least something. That is a Vapor Snag to help him slow down the Goyf. Looks like he picked up a Lord of Atlantis for the turn as well. So it's very possible he can use this Vapor Snag to get into the Liliana. Try and prevent that from ulting. Or, excuse me, not ult, but minusing. Making him sacrifice creatures and so on. Looks like he's thinking about playing Lord of Atlantis here. I'm not sure I like casting the Lord when you have Vial on 2. So there's Lord. Yeah, I definitely think it's better to represent both Spell Pierce and Vapor Snag instead of representing just one. There's another land off the Dark Confidant. Looks like he picked up a Maelstrom Pulse besides. Minusing Liliana, so there goes the Lord. So Lawrence with lots of mana open for Spell Pierce, of course. So again, just to make sure that everybody is aware of the interaction there, why Lawrence's Dark Confidant didn't die as well, because that's what the image was copying. Phantasmal Image's trigger will go on the stack before the Maelstrom Pulse actually resolves. So therefore, the Maelstrom Pulse does not actually have a target. It will just fizzle. Dark Confidant will be saved. It looks like Peter finds his 4th land, finally. So it looks like he's just going to cast Master Waves. So it looks like the Dark Confidant is now going to turn over a Pack Rat. which is quite good. Oh yeah, that spreading seas is still in play, you're right. Yeah, just 1 second there now. Okay, so it looks like that has, we have fixed that now. The extra token has come into play. It looks like we're going to see a triple block on this Tarmogoyf. And here comes another Tarmogoyf. And now Peter is going to concede the game to all of the Tarmogoyfs. Lawrence Bouzane is going to take a 1-0 lead over Peter Yang. Alright, so we are going to take a look at the sideboards now to see what each player has access to out of their boards. For Peter Yang, we have got 2 Swan Songs, a Spell Pierce, a Hercule's Recall, a Relic of Progenitus, 2 Hibernation. I think that's Hibernation. 1 Kira Great Glass Spinner, 1 Spellskite, 2 Steel Sabotage, 2 Dismembers, and 2 Tidebinder Mage. So on the rock side, those Tidebinder Mages looking mighty good right now, by the way. On the green-black rock side, we have 2 Reaping Corrosion, 3 Fulminator Mage, 3 Golgari Charms, 1 Knight of Soul's Betrayal, 3 Drown in Sorrow, and 3 Grafdigger's Cage. Alright. Alright, so let's see if Peter can bring it back to a game 3 here. He did have a relatively underwhelming draw versus the Rock deck. Lawrence did have a reasonable amount of answers, plus he had, 3 Tarmogoyfs or something ridiculous. Looks like Peter is happy with his opener, Lawrence less so. Looks like Lawrence is going to take a mulligan here. I think he had 1 land, and I think it was a treetop village. Alright, island go for Peter is how we're going to start off. Looks like Lawrence is going to immediately put himself on 16, 2 Thoughtseas. We see Silvergill Adept, a pair of Vapor Snags, a Tidebinder Mage, and 2 lands, one of which is a Mutavault. So he's probably going to go after the Silvergill Adept, and there he is. Looks like Peter picked up an island for the turn. Uh-oh. Did we just freeze? It would appear that our camera is frozen. Alright. Give me 1 moment. We're gonna try and figure out what the heck is going on here. And we'll get right back with you guys. We're just gonna resolve these technical difficulties. We'll be back in a second. Okay, so looks like we are back back online here. So looks like we are going to see amazing echo. Why am I echoing? Okay. I think that solves the echo. I don't know if I was echoing for anybody else, or if I was echoing for just myself. But whatever the case, I was echoing. If I am still echoing, please let me know. Looks like Master of the Pearl Trident is going to come into play. Mutavault is going to smack in for 3 points. Lawrence down to 8 already here. Looks like we're going to see Tarmogoyf and Twilight Mire played for Lawrence. So Peter has Lord Vaporsnag in his hand, as well as Master of Waves. 3 dudes coming in. Looks like Drown in Sorrow was the perfect draw. That is going to clean up everything. And Lawrence is going to scry, leave it on top. Looks like a Drown in Sorrow has already happened. And it would appear that they are doing a Tarmogoyf count right now. Animate Mutavault, attack. See how much this is for. It's for 4. So the Goyf is a 4/5. Because, of course, Drown in Sorrow shrank it. Looks like Peter's going to go with the Lord of Atlantis. Bash in with Mutavault. And he's going to ship turn after playing an island. Looks like Lawrence picks up another copy of Tarmogoyf. So there that is. Animate Mutavault. And here comes the Mutavault for 2 points. Should be 3 points, actually. Oh, Peter did not fix his life dice. Looks like we're going to see a hardcast Silvergill Adept. So Peter should be at 12 right now. So now we're going to see an island. Pass the turn. Here comes a big hit with the Tarmogoyf. Looks like this is Drown in Sorrow number 3 for Lawrence. You see Peter shaking his head there. That's pretty frustrating. Lawrence draws all 3 copies of his Drown in Sorrows. And you see Peter just kind of shaking his head. What do I do? Like, he could save one of his guys, but that doesn't really do it. Can't beat the Goyfs that way. Like, he could bounce the Silvergill. I believe Peter is at 4 right now. See, Peter is very conflicted here on what he wants to do. Looks like he's going to pick up his Lord. And he is going to fix his life dice. He is at 3. He's going to... Lawrence is going to scry, leave Dismember on top. Peter is going to draw a land and extend the hand. Lawrence Bouzane, Green Black Rock, is going to take it down 2-0 over some pretty unfortunate draws there from Peter Yang in the latter portion of that game. Of course, he did beat Lawrence down pretty low, but Lawrence with triple Drown in Sorrow was able to stabilize, and he is going to take it down. Alright, I think there's one more round left to go, so we will take a break, and if there is, we will bring you that. If not, I will let you know. So make sure to stick around, guys.